When you return something to Amazon, you typically get a credit right away. But now a new lawsuit claims that Amazon may be reneging on some of those credits. Shoppers love the convenience of dropping Amazon returns off at stores like Kohl's, Staples, and Whole Foods, and getting an instant refund.
I think it'll be a lot more convenient. I live close.
But a year ago, Bill Middendorf told me he never got a refund because his drop-off disappeared.
A new report from Punchbowl News says that Amazon is looking to avoid the blame for raising prices as a result of President Trump's new tariffs. The e-commerce giant will begin displaying how much the tariffs are adding to the price of its good right next to the product's list price.
You use Amazon for everything. Fast shipping, endless choices, and reviews that help you shop smarter. But what if the convenience you trust is built on secrets they don't want you to see? Behind every click, every package, and every 5-star review is a system designed to track you, guide you, and profit off you, without you ever realizing it. From fake reviews to repackaged returns, these are the 10 secrets Amazon hopes you never find out. And once you know them, you'll never shop the same way again. When you shop on Amazon, it feels like you're in control. Search, scroll, compare, buy. But what most people don't realize is that every move you make is being tracked. Every search, every click, every product you linger on. Amazon records it all. And it's not just about what you buy. It's about how you shop. Amazon logs what you look at, how long you hover over an image, which reviews you read, and even how fast you scroll. That data gets fed into a massive algorithm that builds a detailed profile of your habits. What interests you, what makes you hesitate, and what finally pushes you to hit buy now. This profile helps Amazon control more than just product recommendations. It influences your entire shopping experience. The order of search results, the pricing you see, and the ads that follow you across the internet. It's all shaped by what you've done before. And it's not just limited to your account. If you're logged in, Amazon tracks you across devices. If you're not logged in, cookies still follow your behavior. This means they're watching even when you don't realize it. That's why a product you browsed yesterday magically appears today on your homepage. It's not coincidence, it's design. You're not just shopping, you're being guided, tracked, and nudged every step of the way. When you shop on Amazon, reviews feel like the safety net. A product with thousands of 5-star ratings must be trustworthy, right? But here's the truth. Fake reviews are everywhere, and Amazon knows it. Every day, third-party sellers flood the site with purchased, incentivized, or entirely fabricated reviews to boost their rankings. Some even ship free products in exchange for 5 stars. Others use bots to mass post positive feedback. And the scary part? It works. Amazon's algorithm favors products with high ratings and frequent reviews, pushing them to the top of your search results, even if the product is junk. That's why so many cheap, poorly made items dominate bestseller lists. While Amazon claims to fight fake reviews, many slip through the cracks. Some are cleverly disguised to sound real. Others are buried under layers of real ones to mask the manipulation. There are even entire underground marketplaces where sellers buy reviews in bulk, and Amazon has been aware of them for years. Even the verified purchase label isn't a guarantee. Sellers can game the system by offering deep discounts or giving out gift cards in exchange for glowing reviews after a small transaction. So next time you rely on those 5 stars, dig deeper. Check the timestamps. Look for repeated phrases. If something feels too perfect, it probably is. Because on Amazon, not all praise is earned. Some of it is bought. That little orange bestseller badge on Amazon looks like a stamp of approval, a signal that the product is trusted, tested, and flying off the shelves. But the truth, that badge doesn't always mean what you think it does. In fact, it can be manipulated, and Amazon lets it happen. The badge isn't awarded based on overall quality, long-term performance, or even verified reviews. It's triggered by short-term sales spikes, often within a specific category. And since Amazon's categories can be incredibly narrow, sellers know how to game the system. A product might sell a small number of units in an obscure subcategory, and suddenly it's crowned a bestseller. But here's where it gets worse. Some sellers use fake review boosts, flash sales, or deep discounts to artificially inflate those numbers. Once they get the badge, Amazon's algorithm boosts them even more, making customers trust them instantly, which leads to more sales, even if the product is low quality. And because Amazon doesn't clearly define the sales thresholds for earning the badge, shoppers assume it means top product, when in reality, it might just be the most purchased item in a niche for 24 hours. So before you trust that badge, look at the reviews, check for red flags, and scroll deeper. Because on Amazon, bestseller doesn't always mean best. Sometimes it just means most cleverly positioned. When you buy something labeled new on Amazon, you expect it to be untouched, fresh out of the box, never used, completely clean. But here's the uncomfortable truth. A lot of returned items end up right back on the shelf, relisted as brand new, and most customers never realize it. Every day, Amazon receives millions of returns, from opened electronics and slightly used clothes to kitchen gadgets that were used once and boxed back up. Ideally, these go into an open box or used like new category, but in many cases, especially with third-party sellers, items that appear unused or undamaged are simply repackaged and resold as if they were never touched. Sellers, and even Amazon's own warehouses often make quick visual inspections. If the product looks okay and the packaging can be resealed, it goes back into circulation. There's no detailed verification process to guarantee it was never used. For hygiene-sensitive items like earbuds or personal care products, that's a serious concern. Some customers even report receiving items with smudges, fingerprints, or missing protective seals, all sold as new. And unless you complain or notice immediately, you'll never know. So next time that box looks just a little off, or the product inside feels not quite right, you might not be the first one to open it, because on Amazon, new doesn't always mean untouched. It sometimes just means new enough. If you have an Alexa device in your home, you probably think it only listens when you say the wake word, Alexa. But here's the reality most users don't fully understand. Alexa is always listening, and not just to be helpful, but to collect data. Amazon Echo devices are built with microphones that are always on, constantly monitoring background noise for the activation word. But to detect that word, Alexa has to process everything it hears all the time. That means your private conversations, background TV, arguments, and casual chatter are being quietly filtered through its system, even if you never say Alexa. And here's where it gets more alarming. Some of those recordings are stored and reviewed manually. Amazon has admitted that a portion of voice data is analyzed by real humans to improve Alexa's accuracy. While names are supposedly stripped from the files, audio snippets have still included deeply personal or private moments. Even if you delete your recordings from the Alexa app, Amazon may retain transcripts or metadata, and changing your privacy settings doesn't always stop the device from collecting information. It just changes how it's displayed. So if you thought Alexa was just a friendly virtual assistant, think again. In exchange for convenience, you've installed a live mic in your home, one that never really goes silent. Behind the speed of your Prime delivery is a system built on relentless pressure, and it all starts inside Amazon's massive fulfillment centers. While customers see convenience, workers inside the warehouses face extreme demands, tight deadlines, and constant surveillance. Every task, picking, packing, scanning, lifting, is tracked and timed. Employees wear devices that log their movements and scan rates. If you slow down or take too long on one step, the system flags you. Too many flags, you risk getting written up or even fired. There's no room for breaks outside of your scheduled time, and workers are sometimes penalized for time off tasks that includes going to the bathroom. Many warehouses are so large that walking to and from break areas can eat up half your break time. Some workers report walking 10 to 15 miles during a single shift. Injuries, both physical and mental, are common, especially during peak seasons like Prime Day and the holidays. Amazon says these practices are necessary to maintain fast delivery and competitive pricing, but behind the scenes, efficiency often comes at the expense of worker well-being. High turnover, strict quotas, and limited human interaction make the job feel more like a machine-driven race than a workplace. So next time your order arrives in 24 hours or less, just remember, it didn't get there by magic. It got there because someone behind the scenes was pushed to their limit to make it happen. When you shop on Amazon, it feels like you're making your own decisions, choosing the best product, the best price, and what works for you. But behind the scenes, Amazon is constantly nudging you toward what works best for them, and most of the time, that means higher profit margins. The moment you enter a search term, your screen is flooded with sponsored products, items that companies paid to put in front of you. Many shoppers don't even realize they're ads. They look like regular listings, but these products aren't always the best, the cheapest, or the highest rated. They're just the most profitable. Even when you're not seeing ads, the algorithm still guides you. Amazon subtly favors items from sellers who meet certain internal goals. like higher markups or better margins. That means you're more likely to see products that help Amazon earn more, not necessarily ones that save you money. There's also the sneaky, frequently bought together section, a psychological trick designed to upsell you with little effort. You might come in looking for one item, but by the time you check out, you've bought 3, because Amazon made it feel like a smart bundle. Everything from how search results are sorted to what appears on your homepage is designed to gently push you toward higher spending. You still feel in control, but you're being steered every step of the way. When you read product reviews on Amazon, you expect them to match the product you're buying. Seems obvious, right? But what if the glowing reviews you're trusting aren't even for the same product anymore? That's the danger behind a shady trick used by some third-party sellers called listing hijacking. Here's how it works. A seller builds up a product listing with hundreds or even thousands of positive reviews for a great item that people genuinely love. But once that listing has momentum and trust, they silently change the product behind the scenes. The title, images, even the description gets updated, but the reviews stay the same. So suddenly, what used to be a popular USB cable might become a cheap charger, or a top-rated backpack becomes a poorly made duffel bag. New buyers see thousands of 5-star ratings and think this must be a great deal, not realizing they're reading reviews for a completely different product. And here's the scary part: Amazon doesn't always catch it, especially when the seller makes gradual changes or swaps items within similar categories. The platform's systems let it slide. This trick exploits your trust. You think you're buying something other customers love, but you're actually buying something entirely different, riding on the credibility of a product that no longer exists. So before you buy, check more than just the stars. Scroll through recent reviews, look at the review dates, and make sure the item people loved is still the one you're about to receive. Amazon Prime used to mean one thing above all else: fast, free 2-day shipping. It was the promise that made millions of people subscribe and helped Amazon crush the competition. But if you've noticed your deliveries taking longer than they used to, you're not imagining it. Over the past few years, Amazon has quietly changed how Prime shipping works. Some items now take 3, 4, even 5 days to arrive, and yet they're still listed under the Prime badge. The fine print will say arrives in 3 to 5 business days, but the big bold Prime label stays the same. The guarantee, it's been softened, and most customers didn't even notice. Why? Because Amazon is shifting more of its fulfillment burden onto third-party sellers. Many of these sellers don't use Amazon's own warehouses, called Fulfillment by Amazon, so delivery times vary. But instead of removing the Prime label, Amazon lets them display it anyway, and even when they can't meet the original 2-day promise. To make things worse, some customers are still paying full Prime subscription fees, even as their deliveries slow down. The truth is, Prime doesn't mean what it used to. It's not always about speed anymore. It's about access, branding, and keeping you locked into the ecosystem, even if your packages show up a few days late. So next time you click buy now expecting lightning fast shipping, double check the delivery date, because Prime isn't always Prime, at least not the way it used to be. When you search for something on Amazon, headphones, batteries, vitamins, you expect to see the best options first. But here's the secret: Amazon doesn't always show you the best. It shows you what helps them the most. And that usually means Amazon's own brands. Amazon owns dozens of private label brands, including Amazon Basics, Solomo, Good Threads, and Mama Bear, names that sound generic but are fully controlled by Amazon. And when you search for a product, the algorithm often prioritizes these in-house brands, pushing them to the top of your results, sometimes even above better rated or more popular alternatives. It's not just placement. These listings often get more visibility, bolder fonts, and special callouts like Amazon's Choice, which customers assume means best quality, but it doesn't. Amazon's Choice is based on sales, availability, and fulfillment speed, not long-term performance or satisfaction. Worse, many Amazon-branded products have lower ratings or more negative reviews, but still appear higher in search than better products from independent sellers. Why? Because Amazon keeps more of the profit when you buy from their own label. This creates an uneven playing field, one where Amazon acts as both the referee and the competitor. You think you're choosing freely, but in reality, you're being guided toward the product Amazon wants you to buy, not necessarily the one you'd choose on your own. Amazon might seem like the ultimate convenience, but now you know there's a lot more going on behind the scenes. From fake reviews to quiet algorithm tricks, it's not just what you buy, it's how you're being guided to buy it. If you've ever noticed something shady on Amazon or had a weird experience with a product, drop it in the comments. We want to hear your story, and if you want more deep dives into the places you thought you knew, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications, because this is just the beginning.